Hey, what's up? This is the show where I review my whole Steam library. This is number 5 out of 689 and it's the second A title out of 39. As per usual, I had no idea what I was about to play, but let me introduce you to the very fun, very unforgiving, and very infuriating ADOM. I spent around 30 hours with this game so far, and I think I just about scratched the surface of what's to discover in this game. HowLongToBeat.com has this at 77 hours to beat just the main story and way longer for a completionist run. I guess these kinds of games are difficult to estimate though, since you could theoretically get very lucky and just sprint through the run. So what is it? ADOM is a high fantasy old school roguelike game with the original release from 1994 and the re-release from 2018. Your goal is to stop the forces of chaos that are spreading in the land, and you have to save the world and blah blah blah. Honestly, I didn't care much for the lore, it just gives you a reason to venture out in the world and do stuff. This game is incredibly complex and deep. You start of course by creating a character. First, you choose one of 12 star signs, which each give you some different bonus. Then you choose between 12 races, which also all have their pros and cons. Trolls, for example, have excellent regeneration, but a very short lifespan, and they have to eat a ton to survive. To top all of this off, you pick your character's class between 21 different choices. Depending on your race and class choice, you only have access to certain skills. If your character is missing an important skill like heal, you will have to learn it somewhere in the game. As if all of that wasn't enough, there's a stat allocation and a talent tree with a hierarchical system of prerequisites. You can only get the Treasure Hunter, which is said to be one of the best talents, if you pick a perk that's only available at level 1 and later down the line a different talent. Absolute insanity. You choose between tutorial, easy baby gaga goo goo mode, and the intended roguelike permadeath mode. I went with the roguelike mode. When I started the game for the first time, I asked myself if I should play the tutorial. I generally don't bother and just figured it out myself, but after 2 months of running around and not understanding anything, I went and played the tutorial, which by the way was pretty useful. As I mentioned before, this game is very old and it used to run on ASCII graphics. The controls remind me a little bit of Dwarf Fortress, which makes sense in this context. You can still click everything if you so choose, but it'll just be way faster to learn the shortcuts. After about an hour or so of game time, I got a sense for how the game works, and I started my first actual run. I went for a Mist Elf Necromancer. It's an open world, so you can choose where you want to go. If you want, you can go to the final dungeon with level 1, probably not recommendable, but still. As a new player that has no idea, this complete freedom can be suffocating though, because you have no clue what you're really supposed to do. You don't know where anything is, you have no idea what all the enemies do, how the quests are, and everything can and will kill you. I lost characters to blood poisoning, starving, getting fireballed by invisible ogre magicians, getting paralyzed and subsequently murdered by a ghoul. One time my own spell ricocheted this one off the wall and killed me. You get the point. Anyways, you make your way to the first little village, talk to the people there, and they send you on your way to kill things and become stronger. There's a bunch more system that after 30 hours I haven't even interacted with yet. You have professions like alchemy, smithing, herbalism, and so on. There's a religion system where you can pray to your deity to save you in a pinch. You can sacrifice goblins to please your god, you can anger your gods, you can change alignment and get a new god. Your character has to eat or he starves, and so on and so on. There's an extensive wiki on this game for a reason. When you level up, depending on your learning skill, I think, and based on my limited experience, you get around 2 to 6 skill improvements, where you can pick in which area you want to make your character stronger. I don't really want to spoil anything else, I'll just showcase some of the runs I had and wrap it up. My tutorial character found his untimely demise in the first dungeon, after not being able to kill the boss on floor 7. I was pretty optimistic about killing this guy, but my character dealt too little damage and the boss would just heal himself and whittle me down. My first real character died of acute blood poisoning after a spider bit him, in the same dungeon that the tutorial character died. I didn't realize it at the time, but there was probably 3 different ways I still could have saved that one. 10th level character was very narrowly eaten by a swamp hydra. I almost got him, but he managed to stun and devour me. I was not happy about that one. My actual furthest run ended in a forest of usually docile animate trees. Let me tell you that using fire magic in there probably wasn't my smartest plan to date. I took down 200 something trees before they eventually crushed my little gnome boy. Many more than that just died to a random goblin or a bandit. In conclusion, I find it really fun to do a run, die to something, and then go into the next one a little bit smarter. As of my current playtime, I still haven't completed even a single run. What did I like about this game? It's an old school roguelike that is very challenging and unforgiving. you have a ton of freedom and choice, there's huge replayability, and I like the high fantasy setting with necromancers, ghouls, dragons, dungeon crawls, and all that kind of stuff. What might some people not like about this game? It takes a while to get into. I listed this as a positive, but some people that might have little time or they just don't like that kind of game, they might find it frustrating because of that challenge. The commands are sometimes clunky if you don't know the shortcuts, graphics are relatively simple. I would say that this is not this game's main appeal though, it's not trying to have crazy graphics. A minor annoyance I had was that sometimes the only way to progress deeper in a dungeon is to find a secret passage. This can be annoying and time consuming if you have to run through the whole dungeon again and spam the search button just to find a hidden door. This is probably a skill issue, but controlling necromancer units was a pain. They don't follow you around properly and they sometimes turn on you and try to eat you. Who should get this? If you have any interest at all in roguelikes, this will probably be fun. If you enjoy challenging games, dying a lot and coming back stronger, this will probably be fun. If you have an autistic obsession with theory crafting, reading stuff in the wiki, learning about the game, planning, this could also be fun for you. All in all, big recommend from me, I had fun with it. If you enjoyed this week's review, leave a like and subscribe. I post a new review every Sunday. Good luck.